This video is going to help you big time. The goal to fuse creativity with an organized approach, and the outcome, making progress and building confidence quickly behind the decks. Now, personally, I've always been super organized, okay, ever since a kid. I was just there with my to-do list and stuff, but I personally believe for you, okay, going into your practices with a plan is going to help you to step up your DJ game big time. So, okay, so let's face it. There really are so many different ways you can practice, and from teaching like so many people, like thousands of people literally, right? I feel the majority probably, they probably do one or two methods I'm going to talk about today, but they're wondering why they're getting bored or they're reaching a plateau. So stick around, as this video is going to give you a fresh outlook on ways to assure that your DJ practices are successful, so you can assure that you build unstoppable momentum quickly. Now, number one, okay, jamming without any preparation. Now, honestly, it surprises me how many people do this. They download tracks or even stream new tracks directly onto their gear, and they just get to know the tracks through playing. Now, personally, I feel this is actually, it's a great way to get to know new songs, but things may not always go the way you expect. So for instance, if you're hitting play, okay, let's say you're a new DJ, you've got a track playing, you just sort of hit play randomly. To be honest, right, it could kind of maybe not work, okay, because your foundations aren't strong. But let's say you've been DJing for a while, the chances are, you've been taking educated guesses by looking at the track's waveforms. And let's say you mix in and you come in at the wrong point. You might be at a point that your foundations are so strong that maybe you can cover it up with advanced EQ work. And I'm personally all into that. And personally, I actually really love jamming without cues and without any kind of prep. Like, it is a great way to know songs. However, I do find though that lots of the people jamming without prep, they tend to, might not be you, but this is what I'm seeing a lot, okay? And that is, they tend to hit play on the last drop, okay? And they hope as the chorus finishes and the outro comes in, their new track comes in at the right time. But this means they are often limited to playing the full track. And honestly, that can get boring, okay? Not only for you, but also your audience, okay? So if jamming without preparation does interest you, I do have a free video in my mini course on mixing without cues for the main genres. So check that out below, I'll put a link in. Number two, research and preparation. Now, even though researching and preparing music in your DJ software isn't actually practicing on DJ gear, so to speak, I still feel you can count it as practice. So on days, let's say you come home, you're not feeling motivated and you just want to flop on the couch, instead of checking your feed, okay, just pull out your computer, check out some music sites with the goal of discovering new music, genres even artists that you like. And honestly, the more music that you have to pull from when you play live, the better off you're going to be. Now, sure, researching and preparing music, okay, honestly, it's a video in itself. So if you want a checklist and even videos on where to find and download music, as well as where to set cue points for all the main genres and even how to craft a playlist, I'll link in my free mini course below. As that free course, it successfully helped thousands of people to get started and to get instant results. But just quickly back to this video. So let's say you do find all this music that you love, right? And you start sorting them into playlists. People often then ask me, so when playing live, do you pre-plan your sets and arrange your tracks in a particular order and just turn up and play that playlist? Or do you turn up to the events with the right kind of music and wing it? Now, personally, okay, I do both, meaning I always do my best to be over-prepared whenever I turn up to play. And sure, yes, I have cool combos and tracks that I know work well together, but I'm also open to reading the crowd, and I can change my plan if needed to assure that there's always atmosphere in the room. So if you're feeling lazy and having trouble getting started, music preparation and researching music and stuff, man, it's honestly, it doesn't take much, and it's a great first step. And quite often that step alone, it can motivate me to hit the decks. As in my session, let's say I found all these tracks that I love, I could be like, wow, I just can't wait to play them actually, like you'll see. Just sometimes taking the first step, it's like Michael Jordan, like just do it, Nike and all that, right? Like you take that first step, and then from there you can build unstoppable momentum. Now, number three, working on your transitions and set flow. So if you're preparing for an event, okay, even a live stream, whatever, okay, Once you have the tracks you wish to play, okay, and perhaps even know which parts of each track you want to play, okay, so I've got a video on where to set cue points, I'll link it in below too, but you may want to hit the decks and practice your transitions. Now, this is great practice as it really helps to develop your EQ work, and by jamming the tracks, you also become familiar with them, okay? But I usually take this a step further and I record myself and I play my set from start to finish. Now, not only does that allow me to get a feel for the flow of the set, but recording I find adds a little bit of pressure, okay? But then it also allows me to listen back to the set and get a feel for the overall flow with the goal of finding ways I can improve. And if I've got time, sometimes I may rework playlists, especially if it's an important show, a few times, okay? But in saying that, it's honestly great to develop your track arrangement skills. And when playing live, that's honestly probably arguably the most important thing. Like, it's more important than fancy tricks. Is people on the dance floor, they're way more interested in the atmosphere you create through telling a story and building energy through your track selection. And sure, this often could mean sometimes letting the songs play out, letting them breathe, especially for tracks that are getting a really great response. But it can also sometimes mean mixing quickly to build energy in the room. But I honestly think before getting to the next sections, you want to get your arrangement down first. That's really important. Now, number 4, adding familiarity, live mashups and acapellas. Now, in my opinion, steps 1 to 3 are enough, especially if you're playing to dance floors. But if you're getting bored, okay, and let's say, you just want to do more, okay, you want to push the boundaries, man, you start getting more creative. You could add acapellas, you could do mashups on the fly, you could even tease in cool, familiar patterns that people will recognize, they'll respond well to. As let's face it, right, people on dance floors, they love familiarity, and by using acapellas or even isolated melodies, you can give people familiarity whilst also staying true to your sound. Now, it also helps to maintain, even build energy in down parts of the track, and it keeps your set interesting and your audience captivated, like always guessing what's coming next. Oh, that's cool. Oh, and all that. Now, personally, I love mixing like that. And if that interests you, I have a whole bonus Performance Plus course included in my Club Ready package that has a ton of videos on how to mix more creatively, and also a whole section on how to mix with more than 2 decks. So one thing quickly though, if mixing with more than 2 decks interests you, okay, but let's say you've only got a 2-channel controller, okay, check out the video I did a few weeks back. I'll link it in now, okay? But I did a video on using the sampler, like on your performance pads, like a 3rd deck, as that's going to give you an insight to what mixing with 3 decks actually feels like. And in truth, right, mixing with more than 2 decks, although not necessary when playing live, it is a ton of fun, okay? And it's great for people ready to push their boundaries. Okay, so number 5, adding effects, hot cues, and potentially creating killer combos and routines. Now, creating killer combos and routines using hot cue play and effects has really grown in popularity in recent years. And even though it's so much fun, I have heaps of videos coming up with loads of ideas for you to take your sets to a superior level. But you do have to be a little bit careful, okay? As without really strong foundations first, this kind of mixing can sound messy and it could end up frustrating you and be a contributing factor in you giving up DJing altogether, okay? Just making it a fad. Now, we don't want that. So personally, I feel, and this is not just me pushing my course, okay, but I just know from teaching thousands of people to DJ that people need structure. And the very first thing I have to do is, let's say you're fairly new to DJing, man, honestly, I have to condition the mixing process in you and get you thinking less and instinctively knowing what to do, and better yet, feeling what to do at the perfect time all the time, okay? So if you're sick of getting some info here and some there, which is what YouTube all is really, right? And it's in no particular order, man, you're robbing yourself of your own time, which is arguably the most valuable thing in the world. So my advice, and it doesn't even have to be with me, okay? Just find a teacher that you resonate with and do a course, okay? Now, I wish I had courses like mine when I was growing up. So honestly, why take 20 years to learn what I've learned when I can teach you everything in chronological order in 1 week, okay? And when I see my students tearing up on the live streams and even the mixes that I listen to personally, and I'm blown away by their skills. Like they're the real deal. But the thing that just takes my course to the next level is the community and culture in our group. Like doors are opening for people. It's really, really big. Anyway, sorry, I got to be excited there. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, effects and performance features. So if you have super solid foundations, no doubt it is time starting to add like effects and hot cue play work, okay? But remember, at first at least, less can be more, okay? So remember, if you have nothing to prove, okay, and if you're doing a live remix with your hot cues, and let's say it sounds amazing, the chances are your crowd will think it's part of the track anyway. And the majority of people, honestly, on dance floors, they have no idea what DJs are doing outside of being like you are. You're the center of the party, okay? And you are taking them on a journey, and you are controlling the atmosphere. But, you know, people may not notice, like, you know, you smashing out like all this really cool stuff, but they will notice you overdoing the effects. And if it doesn't sound natural, it's going to come across as show offy and just get this guy off. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, arrangement is king, honestly. Like you got to get your arrangement, you've got to get your foundations, and from that, then you can start putting together some killer combinations, okay? And that really is the next step. So yes, 100% practicing killer combos is wicked fun, man, okay? And usually involves combining multiple techniques, which honestly, it can push a DJ's boundaries, okay? And it can keep your spark for DJing alive. Like it's the next thing to learn, there's no doubt. But remember, okay, treat effects like icing on a cake, and too much is gonna make people sick, okay? But once you have a super tasty cake, meaning super solid foundations, 100%, right, put together killer combos, and by mastering one combo, you build confidence. And what you're gonna find is you can apply those methods in that combination to all combos, and in time, you know, that's the way you'll naturally DJ, and people are going to be wowed by your talent. But remember, don't go straight for the combos. You got to build up, okay? But I suggest you do all those five methods. Now, just a quick announcement, okay? Okay, so just talking me for one sec. So my social media pages have been neglected, man, for so long. But I've had a vision to run them personally, as up until now I had other people involved that weren't really that good a fit. So please check them out, and think of my Instagram and Facebook as going hand in hand with these videos. So I'm going to be sharing tips, tricks, and even step-by-steps on what you should do. So if you want a picture version of everything I'm talking about, like honestly, I'm going to do really cool carousels and videos and all that, right, and snippets, check out my pages. And I may even do some giveaways for the people showing up the most. And I'm also using my page to help out my students. So, you know, so get involved anyway. So get your karma points now and help me to feel motivated and supported by, you know, going across to my IG and jumping on board. And trust me, if you want valuable yet fun content, you're not going to find any DJ pages good. No comparisons. Messing. Okay, so thanks, man. See you next Monday. And remember, if you're not yet part of the Club Ready tribe, check out the link to my course below. It covers everything we've done in this video, but in detail, and gives you actual exercises to get there. So no turning back. Your journey starts now. Thank you.